for your participation and support. May I take this opportunity also to invite Dr. Robin Chan, a very familiar face of the Karma Culture Buddhist Center, to give us an overview of this Money Don't Road event. Dr. Robin, please.
It is an honor and privilege to be here and to be able to open and talk about this very important practice. When I was asked by Shangpa Rinpoche to speak on this, I was getting to stretch myself and say, what am I going to talk about? And why me? And why? Who's about me? You know? The reason, of course, is everybody who knows me and people who don't know me know that I'm a cranky old lawyer working in a university, in a hospital, and therefore is a strict, unfriendly, and unnice person. What is there to talk about compassion? Now, I think I trust Shangpa Rinpoche. Every project that he asks me to, whether recording a singing CD or designing a book, you know, I think he has an intention behind every project. Perhaps I will tell you what I don't have in compassion, and therefore make this something that we can discuss. This is a very important practice, and this important practice started the fact that we have this precious human life. A lot of people think that it is good to be a fairy, a god, whatever else, except a human being. And I think if you do not appreciate the idea of being human, then we have to start somewhere. So that's why there is a cause of depression. That's why people get into a lot of problems when they do not treasure this precious human life. And human beings are very sophisticated people. You know, if you put a group of monkeys into a stadium, okay, they will create havoc. But if you put a group of human beings in the stadium, they all watch football. So we are very organized, we are very sophisticated. And one of the reasons why we are very organized and sophisticated is because of two practices. And these two practices is the core of all religion, including what the Buddha said. And what are the two practices? The two practices is wisdom and compassion. Wisdom is why we are so developed. When climate change makes the world hotter, we make more aircon. Compassion is why this society is better. And give you an example. Why do we need compassion? What exactly is compassion? The definition of the word compassion is quite weird, you know. A lot of people talk about compassion but don't really understand what is the essence of compassion and how does it apply to our daily life. A lot of people think compassion is being kind. Actually, in Buddhism, okay, there is a clear vows of 4 practices that we do: wisdom, compassion, loving kindness, and equanimity. Okay, or 4 Brahma Vihara. And loving kindness is metta. Compassion is karuna. Right, Venerable? Correct? I better start to revise a bit. So when people talk about compassion and just think that it's all about kindness, then maybe they are missing a bit. So compassion in the being a scholar and working in a university, I better talk a bit like a scholar. In a linguistic manner, compassion is a compound word. Compassion. Compassion, in this thing, what does it mean? You know, in English, because it's being a compound word and being a secondary word, it's very difficult to understand and therefore need a definition. But the Chinese was very good. The Chinese translated compassion, or rather karuna, as 慈悲. 慈悲 means being compassionate about suffering. So it goes down to 慈悲 or compassion. Compassion is not pity. You know? What is pity? Pity is 可怜. You know? I take pity on somebody else. Okay? Compassion is not just about, well, it is not just about pity, okay, and not just about sympathy. A lot of people use the word sympathy. Besides 可怜, which is pity, they also talk about sympathy, which is 同情. You know? So compassion is more than that. Compassion is having a feeling of somebody's and understanding somebody else's suffering, and having a desire and an intention to help to relieve the suffering. And this is very important. That's the difference between pity, sympathy, and compassion. Because compassion has a desire to help. How many read a newspaper every day and cry? Nobody. Because newspaper is full of bad news. Somebody had an accident, somebody committed suicide, somebody died. Nobody has cried. So we may feel sorry for the person, but because we didn't have any actions, that is not compassion. That can be pity, that can be sympathy, but that's not compassion. So therefore, compassion needs a certain action. Now, why is compassion important? Can you imagine this world if everybody takes an understanding and an interest in somebody else's suffering? This world will be a better place. The Buddha said in the First Noble Truth that this life has suffering. In fact, they are full of suffering. I can tell you every one of us in this room as human suffers. And only by understanding that we suffer, right, then we can also understand that somebody else also suffers. And we understand this. When we understand that somebody else also suffers, we decide on one thing. We take action in our own hand to prevent the person from suffering. And therefore, that's compassion. That's why compassion. As good as it is, a lot of people got it wrong. Being kind alone is good, but that is not in the definition of compassion alone. So compassion means I help somebody because he needs help. So it is good always to give, yourself something as well. So a lot of people, therefore, always when they think of compassion is the biggest bow and say, oh, compassion to all sentient beings. Let me share with you what I think. For me, I'm a bit selfish. So I think for compassion, I first have some self-compassion. Self-compassion doesn't mean, that you must be egoistic. Self-compassion doesn't mean you're buying everything for yourself. Self-compassion means sparing a thought for yourself sometimes. Give yourself some breathing space if your life is too fast. If you give yourself some way, some leeway if you're a very strict person, if you're a very disciplined person. If you don't have self-compassion, that's why you have OCD, you have depression, you have stress. And depression, like I said, is 1 in 5 people. That's why the depression drug in the world is the #1 top seller, in the world. And let me tell you, it is useless. None of this drug is going to help you relieve your depression if you do not have self-compassion. So before you have compassion for others, and you must have compassion to yourself, and therefore you must be happy, you must be kinder, you must be better.
And with that, it is important, therefore, to extend that compassion to others. With only your strength and your understanding, you will understand others people's suffering, others people, that other person is suffering the same way as you do. Give you an example. If you have $500 on hand, a lot of people would like to buy an iPhone. Well, $500 not enough. Sorry, the latest iPhone is 1,000. Oh no, okay, $2,000. Okay, and if you buy the latest iPhone, you will be happy. But let me tell you a better way to be more happy. If you use that $2,000 and feed 500 or 1,000 person, you will be much more happy than getting your iPhone. Your iPhone will only last you happiness for 3 months, maximum. After that, it will be scratched. But these 500 people who've got a free lunch that day is definitely going to be different. So, therefore, if you find self-compassion important, then you should not bring self-compassion to a stage where you become self-pampered. Once you have enough, okay, you should therefore think of others. And therefore, how do you know when you have enough? You only know when you have enough when you have gratitude. When you are grateful for what you have, then you will have enough. It is not easy. I think I am the worst in this. Everybody even say that I don't have metta, I don't have kindness, but I have metta. He's sitting at home, he's my dog. I named my dog Metta. And I also named my cat Karuna, but unfortunately Karuna passed away. So this is a reminder. We need to remind. Why do we know all the theories and keep forgetting? Right? We all forget. When times come in crucial period, we forget. And the reason why we forget is because we lack mindfulness. And I think by chanting a mantra, sometimes remind us. And by seeing a beggar, sometimes remind us that we must be compassionate. And if you don't see a beggar often, every time I see a beggar, I'm very happy because he reminds me of compassion, and definitely I will have to pay something. Even if I know this lady is going to cheat me the $2 for selling me the tissue because she sells tissue every day that I pretend to sell tissue, and I will still give her the $2 because that's all her livelihood is. Come on, would you dare to stand there and ask for $2 for a piece of tissue? No, right? So then I give it to her. But therefore, compassion must come with wisdom. Compassion is not an endless pit where you actually it's not stupid compassion. Compassion is intelligent exercise. And the highest form of wisdom is actually compassion again. If you don't know, if you may know the world, you may know Trump, you may know the stock market, but if you don't have compassion, you know nothing. So it's important, therefore, to have both compassion and wisdom. One as the left hand, one as the right hand. So that if you are the bird, you can fly. If you are human, you have both hands in food. The practice of compassion is something that we always forget. We are always quick to look for Google, okay, to find the knowledge. Now the professor is no longer in NUS or NTU or SMU. They are in Google. Professor Google finds and gives you all the answer on wisdom. Is it? Actually, no. Professor Google gives you knowledge. Every time you Google the word, okay, 1,000, 1 million things come out, all the rubbish. So you need the wisdom to therefore to sift through. Even though wisdom is freely available, we are still lacking. And compassion is something that we keep forgetting. Everybody's house may have a Kuan Yin in China, but how many China people actually knows about compassion? So this is actually quite sad. Quite sad. So with a practice like Om Mani Padme Hum, whether it's chanting or whether it's a skillful means or skillful action, it reminds us about compassion. And reminding alone is not enough. Compassion is an action. You must practice compassion. Now, why do we need to practice compassion? This is the last part. I only have 2 minutes more. I know I don't overrun. Now, as a scientist, okay, everybody who knows that I'm a scientist, basically because I work at the university and do a lot of research, I do compassion fatigue, and I realize and understand and read that if you have compassion, we have something inside our body that generates, and that is this hormone is called oxytocin. Oxytocin as a hormone actually allows, yes, I know, 1 minute, okay, allow us to go on living better. Okay, if you are angry, you get cortisol, which actually increase your inflammation, heart attack, and blood pressure. Compassion decrease your heart pressure, decrease your heartbeat, lower your cholesterol level as well. So oxytocin is what you need. It cannot be bought as a drug. It doesn't work as a drug. It cannot be injected to you. Money can't buy oxytocin. You have to generate it from your body. So it's important, therefore, to practice compassion. And I really, really thank everybody who are here to help us try to complete this Om Mani Padme Hum project, which is very dear to my heart. And thank you, Reverend K, once again for the no overlap.
A bit more.